What is going on YouTube? Welcome to Boostco. So today it's a little bit of a different start. For those of you that know me, you may remember this car, but I'm sure most of you don't. It's just been sitting. It's not in the best condition, and my buddy was wanting a car that he could start building on. That he wanted to get into Hondas, and he realized how cheap it was to build Hondas, so he wanted something that he could play with. And this was the perfect candidate, so I gave it to him because I know that he's going to use it and it's never going to go anywhere. It's going to stay in the family. So we just got it running, put back together. We're cleaning it up now, and we're going to. It's always nice when you're building a car if your friend has a car just like it, and which most of my friends have Hondas, and this one is like the body style, so it's going to be the same, so we can like bounce each other's ideas, and if one of us have already done something that we both have the knowledge of the EF hatch. So should be some pretty fun builds coming up. So those of you that watched the last video, you know that we kind of fixed the blue EF hatch. It's driving like really straight now. So I've got some big news. We're not starting on that just yet, but after the next build we are, and the next build is going to be like a couple weekend build. So that's going to go by quick, and it's going to be really fun because it's summer's build. So we're back at the shop. What you doing over here? What you doing over here?
May or may not be hot wiring this thing, so you can hear a little run for a little second.
Oh boy. The other night we tried to start it. We put fuel in the fuel cell for the first time, but the battery was just too weak. So we're gonna try again, I guess.
I've got a lot of fuel leaks, so we can't run the fuel pump.
Yeah, we can't run the fuel pump because the injectors are leaking, the regulator's leaking. But we gotta upgrade injectors and the rail and stuff anyway. Get new injectors, new seals, new regulator, a bigger fuel rail. We should be good on the fuel leaks. Ready? Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
God bless.
Video?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
So there you go, the unofficial first start of the 2JZ BENZ. But the Mercedes is not the reason we're here today. The reason we're here is because of this. So I told you that the blue EF is the race car build, but we're doing this first. This is going to be a turbo build, stock D-Series D15 with head studs. That's the only thing done to the engine. But as long as we stay under about 10 pounds, we should be good. We're trying to keep AC, trying to keep power steering. So we're trying to make this a really nice car with a turbo. So we're not going for huge power numbers. It's just going to be a fun car to drive. And then after this build, we start working on the EF build, and I don't want to spoil anything yet. I want to actually get parts in my hand before I announce anything, because I don't want to change my mind after an announcement. So the stars kind of aligned perfectly, and we were able to do this for pretty cheap. We got all of our turbo parts outside, we painted them. We got them used, but they're super cheap, and we bought the rest of the stuff we needed. So when that stuff comes in, we'll be good. But first we're gonna mock up the hot side, turbo and all that. All right, so we get the headers off, all the way back to the cat. Get the airbox off. So I'll be showing parts as I go along. This is the turbo and the manifold. We just painted them. It's like a metallic finish, and then that's a matte flame-proof finish, just to clean it up a bit. So let's throw this turbo on and see if it's gonna work with the AC or not. So we got the manifold and turbo mocked up. First issue we ran into was this fan. We'll have to get a slim fan for it and make some kind of brackets to hold this. But the downpipe we had is too big for the compressor, which I figured that would happen. So what we're doing is this came over to about here. So this is what our downpipe looks like essentially. We'll cut some of this out to fill that up. You would think that it's kinked, but all we did was expand the pipe sideways, so it should still flow really good. We're gonna get this welded up. Good old Harbor Freight welder. The downpipe welded, and essentially this is what we've got. She's looking really good now. So I went ahead and bolted it up. As you can see, plenty of room. Plenty of room. This was the goal, is to get the hot side mocked up to know that we can use AC. So now that we know that, it's getting late, we're gonna call it a day. So stay tuned for the rest of the build.